Hi guys, so I'm gonna do my biography report on someone extremely cool, so hopefully you guys think he is cool as well. So I am going to do my research on one of the biggest selling artists in the past decade, earning 11 Grammys, 1 Oscar, and mountains of criticism for lyrics that is profane as they are poetic. Whether you are a fan of rap or not, Marshall's life story is an extraordinary tale of success against all odds, a story he hasn't talked much about. He was the white kid who never made it past the ninth grade, but was able to propel himself on the top of a predominantly African American art form. So I did as much research on Marshall Bruce Mathers III as I could, and it's interesting to me that a lot of people don't know who he is by his original name, but he is also known as Eminem, or some people call him Slim Shady. He was born on October 17th, 1972, which currently makes him 42 years old. He was born in St. Joseph, Missouri, with his single mother, Deborah Mathers. His father, Marshall Mathers Jr., abandoned the family when he was only 6 months old. To this day, he has never met his father, and he doesn't care to. He had a troubled childhood. In his early life, they moved frequently and spent most of their time in the housing projects. He was raised on 8 Mile West in Detroit, where he shot his semi-autobiography film later in his career. He moved schools 2 to 3 times a year. He recalled this was the roughest part about it all. He remembered getting beat up in the bathroom, beat up in the hallways, and shoved into lockers because of being the new kid. Marshall says, quote unquote, rap music kept my mind off of all the crap I had to go through. Marshall attended Lincoln High School in Michigan, where he failed the ninth grade 3 times and then eventually dropped out at the age of 17. Despite of being a poor student, he always found himself good at English, which I guess shouldn't come as a surprise. Marshall proved highly skilled at such verbal sparring, and despite his race, he quickly became one of the most respectable figures in Detroit's underground rap scene. Marshall started off being a minority when it came to his profession because of his race. No one took him seriously. The media also loved talking down about him and always publicized him to be some horrible guy, but in reality, that came nothing close to who he is. He was always told, you don't belong and you're not going to succeed. Well, he sure did prove everyone wrong. He's an extraordinary artist. He has the ability to tell stories through his music. He writes his own songs and delights writing words others cannot. He began working odd jobs to make ends meet while participating in rap battles and desperately attending to land a record contract since he was 18 because that's when he started working towards his profession. He always had a dictionary with him wherever he went. He wanted to obtain all the knowledge in the book, so he had it at his disposal, as well as a pen and scratch paper. In 1995, he had his first daughter, Haley. She inspired him to make a living as a rapper. The first album, Infinite, in 1996, received a great deal of praise throughout underground circles, but lacked a major label backing that could help it achieve commercial success. But he didn't stop there because in 1999 he dropped his major label debut, Slim Shady, which was his breakthrough record. This song made major noise throughout the music industry, garnering as much attention for Eminem's exaggerated nasal voice rapping style as it did for the fact that he was white. In 2001, Marshall came under a firestorm of criticism for the excessive profanity, glorification of drugs and violence, and an apparent homophobia. Marshall intended to migrate the criticism by maintaining that his rap simply used the rough language he has been surrounded by since childhood, and later by performing a duet with Elton John at the Grammy Awards to demonstrate his openness to the gay community. He was later recognized even more in his semi-autobiography film 8 Mile, which came out in the fall of 2002. The movie 8 Mile reflected his life and how he lived and the obstacles he had to overcome to be who he is today. In December 2007, he overdosed and nearly died. Marshall slipped further into alcoholism and addiction to sleeping pills and prescription painkillers, but he stated, if I would have got to the hospital 2 hours later, that would have been it. After being sober, ever since this incident, he had to teach himself how to write again, rap, and perform. Since performing his new album Recovery, this was the first concert he was sober for. It was different for him since for most of his career until the point where this album came out, he was under the influence while he was performing. He says it was all just like a big blur. By early 2008, Marshall managed to kick his addiction to drugs and alcohol and return to recording music. In 2009 through 2010, his albums Relapse and Recovery were consumed by personal problems, such as the addiction he had going on, as far as a divorce with his on and off wife Kim, to a big custody dispute over their daughter Haley. Though the Recovery album stuck many people, it seemed more gentler and had a more inspirational tone to it. Marshall didn't want to go overboard with it, but as he said, he feels that if I can help people that have been through a similar situation, then why not? The Recovery album won Marshall a Grammy Award for Best Rap Album. His latest album, Marshall Mathers LP2 was released in 2013, and it seems today he is currently working on a new album with D12. I don't know how accurate this is because it was extremely hard to find, but I guess we will see in the future. Marshall is rather interesting to me because of the lifestyle he had growing up. His words and lyrics are inspirational because majority of his music is based off how he was raised, how he lived his struggles, but still manages to come out on top. I can relate in a way of how he was raised and how you can still make a great life out of it. His music has inspired me that no matter the obstacles that I'm faced with in life, that if I don't give up, I can overcome them and come out on top. Some people hate his music and some people love it. I personally love it. He is gifted. Marshall is known for his surreal humor, graphic violence, and his undeniable lyric skills that make him who he is. Many of his songs explore how he rose to the top and the controversy that continually surrounds him. He never gave up, no matter the circumstances, and for that I applaud him tremendously. For anyone who thinks they can't make a better life out of the one they were given is wrong. And a few quotes that I would like to share that's from him is be proud of who you are, and the other one is no one has a choice where they grew up or what color they are. If you're a rich kid or not, you have no control over your circumstances. The only control you have is to get out of your situation or to stay in it. And a fun fact about Marshall is he appeared on the cover of Rolling Stone after the appearance of only one single from the View album. And the last thing is Eminem found his voice in music. And that's all.